One of the topics that we wanted to explore in our workshops with the school children was the role that models can play in telling a story and the way in which models can use in pedagogical practice in order to enable children to express themselves and allows them to represent feelings and thoughts that are non-verbal and to communicate effectively.
We're at the Building Centre today as part of our collaboration, which is part of Shaping Space, Architectural Models Revealed. And today we're working with college students to get them started on some basic sketch modelling. So they're translating something that is an initial sketch into the first 3D version that they may have thought of. And 9 times out of 10, that doesn't always go to plan. So it's an interesting opportunity for them to take something that they think is going to work and figure out that it won't, and then have to revisit it and refine what they originally started out to do.
The making of architectural models represents an extraordinary diversity of skills and processes. Many of these skills rely on the thinking hand, on embodied ways of knowing that sit with experts such as model makers or architects. And so to better interpret and present architectural models, it's important that we understand how these embodied skills are learned and how we can really champion them within education. The learning of creative subjects is in crisis within schools because of an education system that does not give value to subjects that cannot be standardized or measured.
So since 2010, art, craft and design education has been in decline in the UK. It's largely due to government policy around preference of academic subjects over creative subjects. These measures have had quite a wide-ranging impact. So we've really seen a decrease in the uptake of art and design at GCSE. The influence has been much wider than that. So since 2010, we've actually seen a drop in timetabled hours for all educational provisions, and it's now started to impact further education and higher education as well.
So part of the project for the students today is we've been lent a model from the architect Stanton Williams, and the students today have to look at a particular site and intervene by adding what would be their idea of the ideal community youth centre. So they have to design what they think the ideal youth centre would be, and we've done it in 2 stages. So initially they're looking at the massing form of the building, like the overall shape of it, taking into consideration the different things that a community centre would need. And then secondary to that, we're analysing a little bit of what the interior space would actually look like. And that's at a slightly larger scale where they're working at 1 to 50.
The pedagogical approach at the heart of this project involves embodied learning and learning through making. We're talking about active, socially engaged learning. These kinds of learning have been theorized by visionary educationalists such as Montessori, Dewey and Vygotsky. We've also been inspired by puppet and constructionism, where learners create in context and develop their own specialized knowledge through making. And it is through making that what they learn becomes part of their identity.
Creativity, creative subjects allow for learners to build communication and problem solving as well as creativity, and these are key indicators of success in the 21st century job market according to OECD, so are really important for students to have access to. The education programme for Shaping Space, Architectural Models Revealed, wanted to offer students a materials-first, open-ended exploration of architectural models. By considering a multi-sensory embodied learning experience, we offered multiple ways that learners could own their outcomes and control the direction of their work. We did this by using open briefs where narratives were an important consideration. For example, we asked Key Stage 4 students to design a part fictional place that they would like to visit. And some of the results that we had, which you can actually see on the shelf behind us, were amazing. So we had one group create an African village out of their imagination, and another group reimagined the Statue of Liberty to be a hijabi woman. So this process allowed students to explore their own interests, cultural heritages, and gave space for placemaking and conversations for underrepresented groups within architectural model making as well.
Within constructionism, learning happens through experience, through the physical experience of making. Learning through making turns us from knowledge consumers to knowledge producers. In the workshops for this project, we explore ways in which making can open different possibilities for expression and communication, not just through words, but through drawing and through models. So we engage in making as an opportunity to explore multimodal ways of learning. The value of this fully embodied experiential learning is enormous. This is active learning. It leads to a very engaged form of learning. It's also highly collaborative. You literally see students working hand with hand on a project.